All right, let's see. There we go. Good evening, good evening, good evening. It is Friday. The weekend is here, right? Woohoo! Party time. Not so much. I hope everybody is doing well. I hope everybody is has had a good week. So before we get jumped into this, I just so everybody's always telling me I've had a few, well, I shouldn't say everybody. A few people say, "Why are you always smiling in the icon pictures for these live streams?" So I thought, well, tonight I would do it differently. So I got to ask you guys, did you like the icon picture, like deep in thought type of thing? I hope you guys like that. Um, so I had to I had to do that. So just go back to smiling. Come on. I had to do. I had, that was just trying to mix it up, trying to mix it up. So, all right. So anyway, before we jump into this video, I just want to remind everybody that excuse me, that this is a very family-friendly oriented channel. I would ask you to please be decent in the chat. No nastiness, no racism in the chat. If you do that, those awesome people will boot you out of here because we're just not going to have it. We're not going to have it. So I was going to tell you also before we jump into the chat, one of the guy, well, two of the guys in my group, their buddies, had ordered a tent. So we're trying to get everybody set up because obviously we're heading into colder weather, and so they had decided to buy a canvas tent, uh, and so they had bought it, and they said, "Well, can we just ship it here?" And I said that would make more sense because the thing weighs like well, the box that it came in was 106 pounds, so um, that came today. So they will be in good shape, but they will be ready to roll with their tent. Now the only thing they got to do next is they need to get a wood stove that they can put in that tent, and then they have a place that they can go, they can sleep, and they will have be out of the weather because it's a canvas tent. It is all season, so it cost them a pretty penny for the tent, but well worth the money. Once you get into colder weather, and as long as you can stay warm in there, that is important. That's important. So, all right. So anyway, uh, let's see. What do we got? 246 already. So I'm going to try to let's see. I'm going to set a goal for tonight. And usually Fridays are not a great night for people in the stream, but we're going to set a goal for 500 thumbs up. All right. We're at 103 thumbs up already. So we got 250 people in the chat. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. It really helps with the algorithms, and I need all the help I can get with all the games that YouTube likes to play. So please do so to show support for the channel, and thank you ahead of time for that. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please make sure you subscribe. Hit that bell icon for all notifications as well. So the title of the video is it time to panic, right? Or is it time to panic, and what can we do? Well, according to some of the YouTubers out there, you might as well just pack it in. We're all done. We're done. It's over. End of story. Might as well just give it up, right? I just, if you listen to some of the gloom and doomers out there, and I'm not going to mention names, and you guys know what channels I'm talking about before I even say it, but there are some channels that all they do constantly, stream after stream after stream, is gloom and doom. I don't ever think that it is a good time to panic. Panic serves no purpose. It is anti-productive, honestly. When you start panicking, you're not thinking clearly, and that's going to end up with you having a lot of issues. But Frank Meadows Jr., somewhere in that area, somewhere in that area. But so anyway, yeah, panic is just, I mean, there's that old story with Chicken Little. Remember? The sky is falling, the sky is falling. Or if you want to go back to the boy who cried wolf, if you are doing nothing but constant negativity, 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 you are going to turn people off, and they are not going to they're not going to tune anymore. They're not going to believe anything because and then when something happens, they're going to be like, "Holy crap, I can't believe it happened." To me, like I said again, it serves no purpose. It's not healthy. Um, you know, hey Yvonne Bell, welcome then. Glad you're here. You need to what I think we need to do obviously is we stay vigilant. We continue to prepare, we continue to get ready. Every day that we're giving, guys, extra is a blessing. And the more prepping that we can do in that time period with whatever time that we have left, I think is a great thing. And anything, like I said, that we're doing that's going to put us in a better situation when something goes down. Because I don't really believe it's a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And so when, again, I'm going to clarify what I mean by when I say that. SHTF. What is SHTF? Well, SHTF does not have to be the end of the world as we know it. It could be, obviously, it very much could be. Uh, or what you could do is, SHTF could also be for you personally, loss of a job, a death in the family, the breadwinner of the family dies. That's an SHTF situation for people. All right. Uh, Basically, an emergency is SHTF. Exactly, Okie Forge. You're exactly right. A natural disaster happens that affects your home, your area, your town, your state. You know, forest fires, flooding, hurricanes, tornadoes. Snowstorms, ice storms. All these things can be construed as an SHTF event because if it's impacting you negatively, that's exactly what that is. I'm a big, big believer, and you guys have heard me say this one before, and I'm going to say it again. Prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Put yourself in a situation, and this is the part that's important. Put yourself in a situation where you are not reliant on the government. I don't want to be in a shelter with 2,000 of my closest friends, okay? Because I don't have 2,000 friends. All right. I don't want to be in that situation where I have to stand in line, the bread line, to get food. I don't want to be in that situation where I have to stand in that line to get water. You know, uh, Listen, things are going to happen. Events are going to continue to happen. That's never going to stop. It's always going to happen. One of the important things when it comes to prepping, to be honest with you, is location, location, location. As a prepper, having the mindset of prepping, if I'm living in the desert, so I'm going to give an example, the Green Dream Project, right? They live in the desert. But what they have done, even though they live in the desert, they have rainwater collection. They have a cistern. They have all kinds of totes all over the place. They have a couple of big poly tanks, and they do nothing when it is the monsoon season. Do nothing but collect rain. That's somebody in that situation when SHTF happens for their area, they're prepared. Hopefully, I mean, I don't know what they have as far as food preps or anything like that, but the water is going to be, if you live in a desert, water is going to be your number one priority. So, Hurricane Katrina, the dome probably was not fun. You know what? Exactly. And he's talking about the Metrodome in New Orleans, and the stories that came out of there of what happened in the Metrodome are a nightmare. And I would not want to be in that situation. I want to be in the situation where I am best prepared. But again, so I'm using the Green Dream Project as an example. They are the exception, okay, in that desert environment. They are the exception. They're not the rule. Most people are not prepared in those areas. So to me, as a prepper, when I was looking for my New York property, there was criteria that I had for me, which was going to best suit my interest in that area. When I looked for my property down here in West Virginia, there was criteria that I wanted for, this area where I decided to buy this property down here in West Virginia. To me, it's important to control the high ground. All right. Now, in the valleys, the soil is going to be way more fertile. I totally get that. The soil up here is not as good, but soil can be amended. You can work with soil. You can do things to, you know, work on those things to have areas that you have your gardens in, and you're working on the soil year to year to year, and it's going to be better in the long run. But again, I wanted high ground because if you own the high ground, you're not, you know, dealing with, and I love always how they say the golden horde, right? How many guys have heard about a lot? I'm sure a lot of you have heard about the golden horde that's going to lead the cities and devour the countryside. Never going to happen. Never going to happen. Um, yes, as Randy Romine just made a really great point. As long as your soil is not poisoned, it can be improved, and that is correct. Absolutely. Okay. So we all hear these things about the golden horde. I will tell you this, and I truly believe this to be the case. Take a city like New York City, and there's millions of people in New York City. Most of those people, most of them are going to sit tight. And they're going to sit tight so long that they're not going to be able to leave. Now, will some leave? Absolutely, yes, some will leave. But they have a predetermined location that they're going to. You just can't pack up and put a backpack on, throw some stuff in your backpack, and head out. And where are we going? I have no idea. You're not going to do well. If you've never been camping, if you've never been out in nature, if you're not used to not having those city lights and all that type of stuff. You get out in the country, folks, it gets dark. All right. I mean, that's just a reality. So, there is no lights. And they're not going to be coming into an area that's going to welcome them with open arms either. So those are things, again, to think about. So when you think that this horde of people is going to come out of the cities and just take everybody's stuff, that's not going to happen. This is not like the idiots that riot. So okay, let's talk about this. And I want you to we're going to be really frank in this video tonight, okay? We've all seen the riots. We've all seen people going bananas in doing the things that they're doing, right? Burning and looting and all that type of stuff. I will tell you this right now. In a true SHTF situation, the first time a crowd like that hears gunshots aimed at them and they see people in their crowd dropping to the ground because they've been shot, they're going to scatter like the wind. They're going to be gone. They're not going to be like, hey, there's only 15 of them. Let's keep going, or however many there are. It's not going to happen. Everybody's out for themselves in that mob mentality. Okay. The mob's going to start coming. People are going to start shooting. That mob is going to scatter. Now, if you have organized groups that actually know what they're doing, that's a different story. Okay. That's a whole different kettle of fish. But I'm just talking about that mob mentality in the cities when you watch the burning and looting and all that kind of stuff. As soon as you put them under fire, they're gone. They're gone like the wind. And I'm not even talking about, first they have to escape the city gangs. Well, that's if they get out of the city. That's if they get out of the city. So, again, location is really, really important of where you are when it comes to preparing. The best advice that I could give anybody is to live at your bug out location full time. If you can do that, it gives you a huge, huge advantage, which I think is really, really important. Okay. I mean, if you can do that, then all your stuff is there. The chances are literally well in your favor that you're going to be home when something happens, or you're going to be at work, which hopefully is within a 20 to 50-mile radius of where you live. Okay. So it's not going to take you forever and a day to get back home. So what are we at? 478 here, guys. We're at 199 on the thumbs up. The goal for tonight is 500. Just a game we're going to play. We're going to see how close we can get to 500. Hopefully we can go over. But right now we're at 199. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. Again, it really does make a big difference with the algorithm. So the more interaction we have, the better it is for the channel. So I thank you ahead of time for that reason as well. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon and hit all notifications as well. All right. So thank you very much ahead of time for doing that as well. So Panic is definitely not what you want to do. You want to have a game plan. So again, location is huge. The farther out away from large populous areas, the better off you're going to be. Small towns. Let's talk about small towns for a second. I'm talking about small towns, 5,000 people and under. All right, small towns, not 20, 30, 40,000 people. Small towns are going to basically close in that small town if it's a true SHTF situation, and they're not letting people in. They're going to watch out for their own because in a town of about 5,000 people, everybody knows everybody. They know who the players are, they know who the druggies are, they know who they can trust. Pretty much, they know everybody. And you get somebody just said 470 people in our town. Brenda just said pretty much everybody knows everybody in a town like that. Okay, which is nice. That's awesome. Those small towns like that, they will band together. They're going to take care of the riffraff. The riffraff is going to be gotten rid of. All right. So your druggies and your power drinkers that are not worth a pot to pee in, they're going to be gone. They're going to be gotten rid of. Okay. What you have to realize is putting yourself in a situation that gives you the best advantage to survive long term. All right, the farther away from, like I said again, large population centers, the better off you're going to be. If you can live at your retreat, all your supplies will be there already, and it's going to give you a huge advantage that way. You know, if you can have a group of people that you're working with, I think that that is even more advantageous if you can do that. It puts you in every step, folks. Okay, everything that you do that puts you in a positive situation and gives you the advantage over the rest of society. So let's obviously break it down really simple. 93% of the people in this country are not prepared for a 2 week disaster. A 2 week disaster. That to me is frightening. It's frightening because that means there's going to be a tremendous amount of victims out there that are looking for help. They're looking to take what they want if they can't, or if they're not given it. Okay. It puts you in a very dangerous situation. So I think that it's really important to be ready for those situations as well. If you have a 2 week supply of food, a 2 week supply of water, it gives you time that you could hunker down, lay low, prepare to make your decisions of what you're going to do next. Hopefully, you've listened to people like me, other preppers that have given advice through the years. Everything from caches to having caches buried strategically outside of the city in all four different directions because you don't know which direction you're going to have to flee in if you're in a city, if you're in a town, you're in suburbia. Pick a spot, bury a cache, you know where it is. If you have to bug out, and let's say, okay, I was planning on going south, but now I have to go west because the danger's coming from the south. Then you go, you're picking west, north, or east. So say you decide to go west because you've scouted out, you've got a game plan. The best place for you to go would be to go south, right? That's where you'd want to go because number one, it's going to be warmer weather. And if it's wintertime, believe me, you don't want to be in the cold weather and be out there in nature exposed. But your plans have been deterred, so you can't go that way. So now you got to go west because west is your second best option. Planning ahead and being prepared for those situations. Having your family know exactly what you're going to do. Have a place that you're going to meet. If you are separated, you're at work, the wife's at work, the kids are in school, you know that, okay, this is what we got to do. Where are we going to go? This is where we're meeting. And so everybody gets to that meeting spot and it's out of the way, it's tucked in so that you can hide. Those are things that you have to have in place ahead of time. You really do. It takes a lot to plan things out, and it's easier planning things out because you know why? When the time comes, what do you not have to do? So I want you to answer in the comments, guys. If you got it planned out ahead of time, exactly what you got to do, what do you not have to do when the time comes? What do you not have to do? I'll give you a minute to give me your guesses. All right, so we have panic, worry. All right, you're right, but the answer that I'm looking for is you don't have to think. You know why you don't have to think? Because you already have a plan. You know exactly what you're going to do. So you realize, okay, this is the event. We know that this is the event. I know exactly what I need to do. So you don't have to think about it. You're not going to panic because you have a plan, right? You know, if I get to this location, hopefully, my family members, the people that I care about will be there. You link up and then you go on with the rest of your plan. Really, really smart to do it that way. Yeah, somebody said play video games. That's too funny. Sandy says, I'm coming to you, Ed. Yeah, well, I have plenty of people coming to me. I have plenty of people coming to me, and that's okay. You know, if you have a, if you, and having a, see, here's the best part, okay? Having a plan and never having to implement that plan is a great thing, but you need to be ready for whatever. Having guns and ammo and food and medical supplies and ways to purify water and all the other things that they talk about that you should probably have, which the list is longer than my arm. Those are great, but without a plan, they don't mean squat. If you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off, all right, because you don't know what to do, that is counterproductive to what we are as preppers, as off-gridders, as people that are ready for emergency situations. Don't be that person. I'm telling you right now, when that time comes, there will be plenty of people panicking. And you want to keep your head clear. You want to be sharp. You want to pay attention. You want to be situationally aware of what's going on around you. All right. Be smart. That's the thing, is be smart. If the game plan for you is to lay low in your home and keep a low profile, prepare for that as well. If you have a game plan of, okay, if like, I'll give you an example, like my group, okay? My group has a plan that if something goes down and they feel like something's going down, they're getting out of Dodge and they're getting here as soon as they possibly can. The sooner they leave, the better their chances of getting here are. If you wait, well, we'll wait and see, we'll wait and see, you may not be able to get here as quickly as you would hope to be, okay? So as soon as you feel like it's going down, it's time to get out of Dodge. Now, let's say it ends up being a false alarm, right? Well, that's a good thing too. You know why? Because it lets you know what your strengths were, what your weaknesses, where you screwed up, what you did right, what you did wrong, all those things. And even if it's a false alarm, you got here, you knew exactly how long it was going to take you to get here. You have already, as part of your plan, as part of your plan, alternative routes other than the main highways. The main highways may not be accessible. Let's say martial law is enacted. They're shutting down the highways, folks. Yes, can they shut down everything? No, they cannot shut down everything. But I'll tell you what, they can shut down the highways, and you're not going to be getting on there. You're not going to be getting out of areas. So, yeah, back roads are always better to hide, anyways. Yes, they are. It's a great point. But knowing your back roads, knowing your alternative routes to your location is very, very smart as well. You're less likely to run into trouble. You're talking about, so, okay, Prep Radio Show just said print your local maps. Not only print your local maps, laminate them. Why? Why are you going to laminate them? I'm going to give you the answer in a second, but I want to hear in the comments. Why would you laminate your maps? Why would you do that? Yep. Look at you guys, are so smart. You don't know what your weather is going to be like. You want to make sure your stuff is waterproof. If it's raining, if it's snowing, you don't want them to get wet, degraded, break down. If you have them laminated, it don't matter how hard it's raining, you can pull it out, look at your map. Okay, here's where we are. This is where we need to go. Really, really smart to do it that way. Just something else to think about. Just another little added caveat to put in your memory bank of what you need to do. But those are really, really smart things to do. Okay, really, really smart things to do. So the more prepared you are, the better off you are going. The more prepared you are, your chances for success go up exponentially. The people that are unprepared altogether are not going to have a location to go to. They don't have a plan. If they're bugging in or if they have to bug out, and if they have to bug out, they're now called a refugee because they have no idea of what they're doing. They have no idea of where they're going. They don't know how to survive. The other thing that I would highly encourage you guys to do, okay? So, again, I'm going to give another example of this. So, when we get into winter here, which is not that far away, that we're still getting together every month as a group. Okay. Why would we do that? It's winter. It's terrible. The weather's horrible. Well, guess what? We don't know when SHTF is going to happen. Being able to practice living in bad conditions. So let's say I have like my group members come down and it's November. Okay. And it's really cold and it's crappy. And so they think that they're ready. So they got their canvas tent. They got an idea of what they want to do. Well, I don't think I need the wood stove yet, so we're going to wait. They're going to realize really, really quickly that that was not a smart move, that they need to get that wood stove in place. Making sure you have dry clothes, long johns, extra socks, wool blankets, all those type of things. It's a good way to figure out what works, what doesn't. Practical practice. I've talked about that. You guys have heard me say this in the past. Practical practice is a really important component of this because the more you put things into practice, it becomes comfortable. You become more knowledgeable. You know, it's not that big of a deal if something happens because you've done it, that you can handle that situation. If you have people that have had zero experience in nature, in the woods, camping, I don't care how much gear you got. I don't care how much gear you got. You're not going to make it because you don't know what to do. If you are practicing, if you're getting out there in the woods, camping in rainstorms, camping in, snow and in the weather like that, second nature. Yep, prep rebel, that's a great point. It becomes second nature. It's like, oh, well, here we go. We know what we got to do. Most of the people out there, and I call them victims because that's exactly what they are, they're not ready for that. It gives you an advantage again. Any advantage you can give yourself, I strongly, strongly recommend that you do so. There's a lot more, guys, to being prepared and prepping and all that type of stuff. Just to go out and buy all the fancy gear. It's great to have the night vision stuff. I think it's awesome. If you got night vision stuff, I think that that's fantastic. Okay. But you better have things squared away. You better know how to use that night vision stuff before you have to use it when it's life and death type of a situation. I'm not saying these things to scare you. That's not what I'm saying these things for. I'm trying to I'm trying to help yourselves, give you ideas, make you think. That's my job. My job is to give you ideas, think, wow, that's a good idea. I like what he said. I'm going to copy that. I'll give you a great example of something. And I know I've talked about this before, but maybe some of you haven't heard this on here. When I was in New York and we had a bunch of people, we were getting together, we were having prepping meetings, okay? And so I said to everybody, bring your bug out bags. Don't tell us what's in your bug out bags ahead of time. Bring your bug out bags and we're going to sit down and we're going to see what everybody has in their bug out bag because everybody's got a different idea of what's important, right? Which is smart. You can learn stuff from other people that way. So what we did is we got together and I had these two ladies and they bring in these monstrous bug out bags that had to weigh 70 pounds apiece. Okay. So one of the things, because for me, I tried to keep my bag at about 50 pounds, which is about a quarter of my weight. All right. I'm not in the best shape anymore like I used to be when I was 25 years old. So I want to try to keep it at a reasonable weight that I can handle. Because then besides your bag, what else are you carrying? You're carrying extra ammo. You're carrying a rifle. You probably have a pistol with you as well. So there's going to be other weight that you're going to have other than that 50-pound rack or sack on your back, okay? What we did is we went through these different bags, and the best tip that I got, which I did rectify, just so you know, I definitely did it. Yeah, only carry what you can handle. Well, I'm going to tell you what we discussed in that meeting too when we got together. Well, one of the people had rat traps in their bug out bag, and they would keep extra peanut butter as well in their bug out bag. And what the thought process was, I could set up that rat trap on a tree, put some peanut butter on it. I can catch squirrels without having to shoot squirrels and, other animals that way, and use that rat trap to get a free meal out in nature without alerting anybody else, because that's the other thing you don't want to do. You don't want to draw attention to yourself. So it's just something to think about. So one of the things what we talked about was, I said to these ladies, who neither one of them were in great shape, how long do you think you could walk with that 70-pound rucksack? And this was not, I want you to realize something. I was not criticizing them. I was trying to help them. Okay. So this was not me telling them you're stupid and you're an ignorant person. It was nothing like that. And so they both thought about it, and they said, probably not that far. I said, exactly. It wouldn't be long before you were stopping and dumping stuff out of your rucksack, because you realize, holy crap, I'm carrying too much weight and I can't go that far. Again, plan accordingly. If you can keep your bag weight down, have important stuff in there. Changes of clothes, extra socks, MREs if you're going to use MREs, freeze dried food if you're going to use freeze dried food. Now, if you're using freeze dried food, you're going to need, definitely have ways to purify water. That's going to be a huge, huge thing. I personally, with my bug out bag, I have the Cat9 water system. Okay. It is less than a pound. Each cartridge will filter 10,000 gallons of water. I think that's going to get me where I need to go, and no problem at all. Okay. With no problem at all. So lightweight keeps the weight down, right? Those are things that are important. You're focusing on keeping that weight down so that when you are bugging out. Now, another good thing to do, which I think I did it one time. I think I did it like 3 or 4 days in a row. Is what I did. Is I put my rucksack on. I kept it lighter weight, and I went for a hike. The next day, I went a little further, and I think I did that about 4 days in a row. And then I got away from it, like everybody does, right? You know, it happens. But if you can, and you can get out and walk, get that exercise, get your body used to it. And then let's say you go a mile out and then a mile back, you work your way up to a mile out and a mile back. Now put that empty rucksack on and maybe throw 5 pounds in there, and then do that walk, and do that for like 4 or 5 days. Then you add a little bit more weight, and then you add a little bit more weight. Before you know it, you've built yourself up to where your body is conditioned to be able to handle that weight, and you can walk that distance. Here's the other thing you got to think about. Are you going to be walking on the road? Are you going to be able to walk on the road? Uh, are you going to have to go over land? Now, if you're walking over land, you're looking at more of a chance for a mechanical injury. You have to be more careful. What's the terrain going to be like? Are you going to be climbing hills? Are you going to be going through rivers, bogs, marshes, all those type of things? Those are things you have to be prepared for. So what kind of footwear are you wearing, right? Depending on where you are. Now, if I'm in Georgia, I'll give you an example. Very swampy, very marshy down there. I'm probably, as part of my bug out bag or thing like that, I'm going to have hip waders, because if I got to go through the marsh, I want to have to be able to go through there and not have to worry about it. Now, where I'm at here, that's not a concern here. So, yeah, the cast iron skillet has to go. Yes, you want to be as lightweight as possible. So again, there's so many aspects of it that go into it, that if you take the time, you sit down and you start thinking about it, it can be overwhelming. It can be hugely overwhelming, but it's really not if you do it. Like, how do we do things here, folks, at Prepper Nurse Oneville? What do we do? STD, step thing and day. Work methodically towards your goals. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to get accomplished. So, okay, I want to get maps. I want to get them copied, and I want to get them laminated. That's just one aspect. So you do that. You get that done. Guess what? Boom, you check that off the list. Now you move on to the next thing. Do I have decent water purification? I do not. So now I got to go. I got to make sure I have a good setup for water purification. So I go and I do that. Get that done. I check that off the list. Check your contents of your bug out bag at least twice a year for the food that you're keeping in there, checking your supplies, keeping things squared away. Those are smart things to do as well. One of the things that I have, with the military, okay, you have the military canteens with, it's the canteens are plastic and they sit in that metal cup that you can do. Now that metal cup can go over the fire to warm something up, soup, whatever. If you've got freeze dried stuff, you can do that. Add your water, put that over the fire, and you can have that. I would highly recommend having some kind of silverware in your bug out stuff, a knife, a fork, and a spoon. It's just smart. It's just being smart, being as ready as you possibly can be. So what are we at? 5:59. We're at 3:45. The goal's 500 for tonight. So again, guys, if you have not shot a thumbs up, please do so to show support for the channel. I do appreciate that ahead of time. Yeah, stainless steel is good cook gear. Yep, yep, that's a good thing to have. Lightweight and very, very good to have. Again, it really does make a difference with the algorithms. So the more interaction, the better it is also for the channel. Again, if you are not, um, if I could think, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon for more notifications as well. What I think I'm going to do for the bunker, somebody said, how's the bunker doing? I think what I'm going to try to do with that, and I am going to set up some playlists because that's long overdue, and I've been told by a buddy of mine probably for the last 2 years, and he's been on my case about it, which he's right. He's right. You got all those videos, set a playlist, and I'm going to be working on that. I just want you guys to know. But I'm probably what I'm going to try to do is once a week do an update video on the bunker and kind of let you know what we're doing, what's going on, where we're going with it, what the plans are, and what kind of progress we're making. There, like I said, there is the next step that I have to do is going to be difficult because it depends. Well, if I have help, if I got extra hands, like with Steve here, that makes a big, big difference. But I have to box it in. But what I'm probably going, the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to put things together outside the hole. Okay. Put things together outside the hole. And then it's got to be slid in and lifted up. So it's going to be very, very heavy. So just one of the posts, it's crazy heavy. It takes two people. So will you bear proof the bunker if you store food there? Yes, there will definitely. Once we get down in there, guys, and we get going, and like we're going into the hill, okay, there's going to be a door on it. There's going to be a heavy duty door on there so that no animals can go in there, and that what we have underground is going to be protected. So that's going to be, like I said, it's just going to be step by step by step. So. Hey Ed, put straw bales around your RV for insulation. I may end up doing that. I may end up doing that. Um, I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do as far as that goes yet. We're going to cross those bridges when we get there. Right now, I'm focused on a few other things. I could probably get away for the most part for probably most of the winter living in the camper this year. I'm going to be living in the camper this year. I'm going to try to get the blue house squared away, get the wood stove set up in there. I've already showed you I bought the piping and stuff like that. So, or some of the piping. I got to buy a wall kit because I definitely going to do it the right way. I'm not going to do it. It's not going to be jerry rigged. So, it. Yes, I'm on the East Coast. Yes, I am. Yep, both properties are on the East Coast. One's in New York, one's in West Virginia. Right now, I'm in West Virginia. So, yeah, I do not want to burn down the blue house. I do not want to do that. But like I said, as we do things and get going, I'm going to share those with you. Like I had somebody in the comments, and I didn't take this as a trollish comment at all, just so you know. So in the comments, somebody had said, well, when are you going to start building something down in West Virginia like you did in New York? Well, right now, finances are not there to do that. So I'm trying to take care of the things that I can take care of that are not going to cost me a tremendous amount of money. Don't cost me a whole lot of money to dig. Okay. Um, Free pallets around the RV stuff with straw and mud over it. Yeah, no, you know what? That's not a bad idea either. In pallets, you can pick up pallets all over the place. And so, yeah, I plan on boxing in the camper. Once we get to that point, I absolutely want to do that because I definitely, I don't want the wind blowing underneath here and all that type of stuff. So there is a lot to do. There is a lot to do, and but we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. So I am ready with archery. I have a crossbow, plenty of bolts, plenty of arrowheads, all those type of things. I think that's another thing that's really important that you should have. Why should you, or compound bow or crossbow, and practice with it and be proficient with it? Why? Because when the time comes and things get hairy, the last thing you want to do is give away your location. If there is a gunshot, people are going to hear a gunshot for miles and miles and miles. So let's say you're out there hunting and you have your crossbow or your compound bow, and I have a slingshot as well, Shannon Barrett. I have that as well. Believe me, I've planned way ahead of time for a long, long time, and I have plenty of other things to do that. But so if I have a crossbow and I take down a deer, nobody's going to hear it. And so I don't have to worry about everybody coming to my location to try to take my kill or try to, and to do that or giving away my location of where I am. So like I said, you got to understand something. All right. I got into prepping in 2005. Hurricane Katrina was my wake up call. And since 2005, other than going to work and taking care of that and taking care of my family, I eat, live, and breathe prepping. I moved off grid 8 years ago. You guys know that. Anybody that's watched this channel for any length of time knows that I moved off grid 8 years ago. And I'm going to tell you what, I'm really, really grateful that I did because the learning curve is very high. You figure out really, really quickly where you're weak, what your weaknesses are, what you need to do, what you need to be prepared for. And, you take care of those things. You take care of those things. So, oh, I got to tell you guys something here. Okay. And some of you are going to be like, oh my God, but this is what I'm doing. So, if you guys remember, who remembers when Dennis came down here with me last year? And he helped me, with the back or the was it, yeah, the little bobcat. Who remembers those videos last no, last October or September? I think it was September, right? Okay, so Dennis, there is a feral cat up in his area that had a litter, had 5 kittens. So Heather and I, when I was home last, saw these kittens, and they were just little beauties. I mean, I love cats. You guys know I love cats, right? So I don't have any cats down in West Virginia, right? So Dennis messages me. Now he kept all 5 of those kittens, just so you guys know. I kept all 5 of those kittens. I got a little flying. Okay, he went away. If he was I was gonna kill him. But anyway, messaged me, said, "Hey, this cat had another litter of kittens." Sent me a picture of these kittens. And I was like, oh my God. Now, you have to understand, all right? My cats that are in New York, I don't want to transport them down here because they're all older cats now. The only young cat that we have is Miss Molly. Miss Molly's the only young cat that we have. Lucy's older. Socks is older. Buddy's older. Max is older. All those cats are older cats, 10 years plus. And so taking them out of the environment that they're comfortable with is just not a good thing. And I wouldn't do that. Okay. So what's going to happen is I said to Heather, she should probably have another cat for Miss Molly. So Miss Molly has a playmate her own age. Yes, I'll get the cats fixed, Snap Ninja. Yes, I plan on getting them all fixed. I'm keeping the other 4. There is a little calico female, and So Heather wants to keep that one. The other four cats, two of them are orangies like Mr. Max, which that I love my orange cats. Got 'em. I hate to admit it, but I love my orange cats. And the other two are little black cats. And so I am like, I was telling Steve, I said, we're gonna have some cats. Now we're looking at 6 to 8 weeks for that to happen before we get those cats. And I definitely they will be coming down here, and this will be their home. The good thing with having Steve here, like I've told you guys before, I don't have to worry when I travel back and forth to New York about what am I doing. Who's going to take care of the animals. uh, Steve will be able to no, Dennis didn't get the riding lawnmower. No, no. All right. We have 600 people in the chat. We're at 399 on the thumbs up. We're 101 away from the goal. And if we hit 500, then we're probably going to have to up 6 because we're doing pretty good tonight. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, first of all, I'm going to ask you to do that. We're going to do egg count. Yes, it is. I know I'm sort of on time. I'm only a minute off tonight, JJ. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do that. Show support for the channel. Again, thank you for that. Also, again, it really does make a difference with the algorithm. So the more interaction that we can get, the better off it is for the channel. So I thank you for that reason as well. So egg count, let's do that. And again, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And I do appreciate that as well. So yes or no for thick neck, and how many eggs today? So we'll give you guys a moment to get your guesses in, and we will see how you guys do. Give you guys just a moment. So again, if you haven't shot that thumbs up yet, please do that as well. And I will tell you, give you guys just another moment. All right. I've seen two right answers, but not a yes or no for thick neck. So nobody else is coming close. So if you have the same exact guess as Paula's nature, she has 3 eggs. She did not say yes or no for thick neck, but 3 eggs is correct, and there was no thick neck today. All right. So cold weather in New York, you guys got to remember, if it's cold up in New York, who does not like to lay eggs when it's cold? Miss thick neck. So yeah, only 3 eggs today. So it was Paula's nature had 3 eggs, and there was one other person that said 3 eggs as well. But neither one of you said yes or no for thick neck. So I was waiting, trying to see if somebody would say that, but they did not. So, but anyway, so that's how that went today. So we're going to give you credit, even though it was only half right, because like I said, nobody else was coming close. Nobody else was coming close. Because usually, if I see the right answer right away, I just go off and I look at other things and get the name down and come back. So, uh, Eastern Kentucky. How you doing, Denise? Yep, not too far away. Not too far away at all. All right. So, yeah. So anyway, going back to what I was saying, I will be having 4 kittens coming down here within probably 6, 7 weeks down to the homestead here in West Virginia. So probably not this time when I go back to New York, but probably the next time that I go back. They should be hopefully ready to come down here. So kind of Ed Cat 3 expected to hit Florida. 24 counties under a state of emergency. I did see that they were talking about that. It's still got a long way to go to see how that develops. It's way too early for them to say exactly where it's going to hit and how it's going to hit. Oh, they're beautiful cats. Let me see. Maybe I'll, if I can pull a picture up, I will show you guys. Hold on. I don't know how well you guys can see that. The two oranges side by side, two black ones, and a little bitty one next to the mama there. So those are the cats, and so I'm thinking the calico is the smallest. I think that one's the runt of the litter. So, yep, only a week old. Yep, they're way too young at this point right now. So, or they just been born a few days ago. But yeah, I saw the two orange ones, and I was like, oh my, and the black cats too. I'm like, I have no idea what they are. Hope. I know, like I said, the calico is a female. The other ones, I have no idea. Yeah, calicos are always female. Just so you guys know too. Yeah, calicos are always female. So yes, if they come down here and live, they will be spoiled horribly, like my other cats are spoiled horribly. I will tell you honestly, I love cats. You guys, anybody that watches this channel knows how I feel about animals in general, but I absolutely love cats, and I have missed having cats down here. Now I got my Hella, and Hella's awesome, but Hella don't sleep in the bed with Dad. Cats can sleep in the bed, so runts usually turn out to be huge size animals. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So, but anyway, and again, what cats again, I love cats, but cats are also a tool, okay? They are a tool. They serve a purpose. They're going to get rid of all the mice, if there's any rats, all those type of things, they will take care of it. They will take care of it. And they take care of that business, and that's a good thing. So, that's absolutely part of it, critter control. So, and they love to hunt. You know what I mean? They absolutely love to hunt, and so yep. So that's the game plan with that. That's going to take a little bit of time, but let's get back to what we were talking about. And actually, now you got to admit, I stayed on topic for a long, long time, right up to I stayed on topic right up to egg count time. So pretty good, pretty good. Uh, again, yeah, you have Hella and your stepson, Jerry Lee. Jerry Lee likes to come over here. He's over here quite a bit. He's a good dog. He is such a good dog. Just good disposition. And I hope that they end up, breeding. I really do. That would be awesome. So anyway, again, I want to encourage you guys not to be victims. So getting things squared away. Again, SHTF again doesn't have to be the end of the world as we know it, and I think that is a misconception that a lot of people have when it comes to prepping. They think that we're all waiting in the mountains in a hut, waiting for the end of the world to happen, which is the farthest thing from the truth. I still want to live my life. I still want to go on vacation. I want to spend time doing things that I enjoy doing. But a big part of what I do is prep and be ready and to work on my homestead and to put it into the shape that I need to put it into. So runts are always the best of the litter. Need to work on getting a lady to sleep with you. Oh my God, that's too funny. I can't talk. I got two dogs for my sleeping buddies. LOL. Well, thank you, Sheila. I appreciate that. If the right lady comes along, that would be great. But that's you know living the lifestyle that I live, and not a lot of women would be like, "Hey, wow, that sounds awesome. I can't wait to do that." So, um, you know, but yeah, we know, real, who knows? If I'm meant to meet somebody, I'll meet them. If I'm not, then I'm not. I have enough to keep me busy and keep me occupied. I really do. So, but but anyway, again, educate yourselves, be ready, practical practice, have a plan. Yeah, less of a headache. Yeah, exactly, Jay. A lot less of a headache. Um, yeah, women can be very stressful. I love them; they're great, but God, they can be a real pain sometimes. but they can also be a lot of fun. And if you meet the right person, it makes a big difference. It really does. So, I got an Apocalypse Street Trial China bike, 80 miles per gallon, 300 range, good for age. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you what, that's one thing I would absolutely recommend for people. They have those electric bikes now that, you could, get with them as long as you are able. And I think you can, and if you're pedaling, it recharges the battery as well, if I'm not mistaken. But you can charge those up, and they got a pretty decent size range. And so instead of walking, I would rather not have to walk long distances. That would not be a whole lot of fun. Paul is natural. I'm single, Ed. Single RN. Well, and I'm an LPN, so you'd be like my boss. Um, that's too funny. But anyway, if you can get something like that, anything that's going to make it easier for you. I know that some people have those fold-up bikes that they could use. Uh, you know, I've got an electric powered chair with a 7 mile radius. Yeah, that's not real good. But best way to find a woman is not look. Let her find you. Like I said, I'm not out there actively looking. I am very busy. Between going back and forth to New York and trying to get things done here. I was married twice. Somebody said I thought you were married. Yeah, I did it twice. Didn't take, but it happens. No, I've actually been single. What is it now? 10 years? Yeah, 10 years. Me and my ex have been divorced over 10 years. So a rebel, certainly not you. No, no, not me at all. No, third time's a charm. Yeah. All right. I don't plan. Let's put it like this. I do not plan on getting married again. That's I keep getting people busting my chops. Are like, oh, you'll get married again. You'll get married again. It would absolutely take somebody very, very special for me to even think about that, and it would take a while. We would have to be together for a while before we'd even be talking about doing that. So yeah, that's yeah. How can they find me in the middle of the woods? Exactly, exactly. So, but hey, you know what? When the time comes, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm not. That's not like oh, I gotta have a woman. I am not that possible. Not Royce Hanson, possibly gay. Royce, possibly not. You know what? Not my thing. Whatever your flavor is, I'm absolutely okay with whatever you want to do, but that is not my thing. So, but thank you for that thought. I like women too much. I'm sorry. But anyway, oh, it's a fortune cookie said women will be running to your bunker in SHTF. The reality is, you're not wrong on that. When SHTF happens, uh, realistically, any single guys in this group, no matter how ugly, no matter how fat, uh, they're going to have their pick of women if they're single, and that's a reality, because people are going to be looking for protection. They're going to be looking for somebody to take care of them in that type of situation. Um, so that's the reality. Yeah, it's and it that there's your trade-off. So will men, absolutely. There will be all kinds of people looking for help, and so you have to make that decision. What who are you going to help? So that's And Lockie sent you a PayPal donation for a couple driveway stones, maybe get 3 or 4. Oh, well, thank you very much, Ann. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. So, Ed, when was the last time you field dressed a deer? Oh, God, I couldn't even tell you. Um, been a long time. Been a long time. Joey No Knees, I like the name. I think that's awesome name. Thank you very much for the donation. I'm going to take a shot in the dark and say you're Italian. I love that name, though. That's awesome. So, but thank you very much. I appreciate that donation as well. Why are Walmart and other major Uh, Taylor's canceling billions of dollars of orders as summer comes to an end. They know something they aren't telling us. That doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me at all. Yes, my flavor. I'll tell you my type, guys. Okay. Um, I've always had a thing for Italian girls, like Italian girls, but I'm not against blondes or brunettes either. I think that they're just as beautiful. I like short women. I like petite women. That is my thing. You know, there are, everybody has their thing that they like. And that's my thing that I like. Both of my wives were both under 110 pounds. So my first wife was Sicilian, and my second wife was Scottish. So Snap Ninja says 410, dude. Love it. Love it. I have a dear friend of mine. Dear friend of mine. I got to tell you the story, and we're gonna do shout outs here in just a second because I know it's that time, but we'll do it in just a second. I got to tell you the story first. So I have there's a waitress that works in the town where we live, and she's about 4 foot 10 or 4 foot 9. She's really really short, and beautiful young lady. She's right around my age, maybe about 5 years younger than me, and but unfortunately she's married. And so we have a running joke that's been going on for quite a while. And so, like, I'll walk into the restaurant and I'll say, I'll say, "Hey, Sue," I said, "How's your husband's health?" I did tell her in all 100% honestly, because that's the kind of guy I am. I don't sugarcoat, I don't BS. I said to her, if something happened to your husband, I said, you should be ready because I will chase you all around this restaurant. This lady went to my daughter's graduation. She's always treated my kids ever since we moved to that town. She's treated my kids great. She's just a genuine person, and I always like that about her. Plus, she's hot and she's tiny, so. But she's a good girl. So, but unfortunately, she's happily married, and it's very disappointing. Randy Romans, I have slender fingers. Oh my God. My mom was 5'1" and I'm 6'6". Wow, that's wild. Yeah, that happens too. I mean, that absolutely happens too. So, all right, let's end the story time. There always ends up being a story time, right? So let's get into here and we will do some shout outs. So, what are we at? 491 on the thumbs up. So, again, the goal was 500. We're going to blow past 500. So let's make it 550 and see if we can actually hit 600. That'll be the goal. Let's make it 600 because we got like 20 minutes to go. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you again to do that before we do shout outs. I appreciate that. It really helps with the algorithm. So the more interaction, the better it is for the channel. So I appreciate it for that reason as well. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So the goal is now 600. We're going to see if we can hit 600. So that's a realistic thing. We got like 17 minutes to go. So 83 away from 600. So let's see if we can do that. Okay. Icky Can up in Canada, a good friend of mine, really like him. So I would ask you to go and support his channel. JJ will throw that link up there. Angry Prepper Jason, most of you probably know who Angry Prepper is. Definitely a good dude as well, and I really like him as well. We have Alaska Prepper, who is Rudy. Like Rudy as well. I think he's a good guy. Alaska Granny. You have Sean James with the Sean James channel and My Self Reliance. Same guy, two different channels. North Shore Preparedness up in Canada as well. You have Corporal's Corner. There's Bjorn Hansen, 80K Man up in the Adirondacks. You have Bizarrizza Jizza, who is also up in New York, and he does the Carrington Chronicles. Really cool story. You have Marfugal News with Adam and Dax out on the West Coast in Seattle. And I know Dax is in Georgia, but it's based out of what Adam is in Seattle, Washington. Good guys. Definitely show them support too. And again, any of these channels you go to, guys, you can tell them Prepper Nurse One sent you. All right. Let's see, where were we? We have Magic Prepper in North Dakota. Wrangle Star with Cody. Really like his channel as well. Red Poppy Ranch. There's Survival Lily. You have Kyle's Cabin with Kyle and Sierra. There is Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods, husband and wife team. Half their time in Minnesota, the other half up in Alaska. Really good couple as well. A lot of good information on their channels. You have Green Greg's, another really good channel, I think. A lot of good information there. Southern Prepper One, Gray Man Prepping, St. Bernard Acres with Joe. You have Doug and Stacy. I really like Doug and Stacy. I like what they're doing, and I like their channel. Let's see where we're. The Nomadic Movement down in Panama. Right now, they're up in Vermont getting their coffee business going. You have the Green Dream Project. I talked about them earlier. They're out of Arizona. Really smart couple doing a lot of good things. Learning as they go. They make mistakes, and what I like about them is they've made mistakes. You show your mistakes because none of us are perfect. We all make mistakes, and you have to learn from that. And my thing is, if you can learn from my mistakes, then you don't make them. Hey, Terrence Parker Jr. Ed, a politician in Germany did a cryptic search saying September 24th will be a day we will all remember. Where we were sounds like a planned global event. Well, you know what? We'll see what happens with that. We'll see what happens. Okay. Let me go back here. Hold on. Camping with Steve Wallace. Love camping with Steve. The Needy Homesteader as well. Another great channel. You have Monkey Works, Boss of the Swamp. There's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. You have Patera with Appalachian Homestead. There is City Prepper. You have Lumina Acres. There is Suspicious Observer. You have Bear Independent, The Uneducated Economist, Bushcraft Bear in the Canary Islands in La Palma, Mary Greeley News with all your updates on earthquakes in Yellowstone and everything that's going on there. You have Adapt 2030. There is Malachi's Corner, Ice Age Farmer. If you get your weather, you better get it from Ryan Hall Y'all. Love Ryan Hall Y'all, greatest weatherman I've seen. Very passionate about what he does. You have Russell Brand. I love Russell Brand as well. He makes you think, and I like that. I like people that make you ponder, make you think, and I think that that's a good thing. Deep South Homestead, The Outsider, The Fit Farmer, Simple Life Reclaimed. There is Townsend's, their Prepared Mine out in California. You have Pinball Preparedness down in Tennessee. There's East Tennessee Preparedness, The Economic Ninja, and Little House Off Gritty. So that does it for the shout outs. And I do want to make a special announcement tonight. And I will get on here so I do this right. So give me just one moment. And let's see. Just give me a moment, guys. I want to make sure that I am on the right thing here. All right. I want to give a quick shout out. This is a couple over in the UK. The wife Sally messaged me today and asked me if I would do a shout out for her husband Mark. And I'm not going to say their last name, but they're over in the UK. And Mark was just diagnosed with bowel cancer. And so I would like all of you, if you would, anybody that prays, I would ask you to pray. Those of you that don't pray, keep Mark in your thoughts. I would appreciate that. I don't know how bad the bowel cancer is, but they are over in the UK. I know that. And they said they've been following me for a long time. And she asked me if I would give Mark a shout out. And so I wanted to do that. Okay. So anyway, to best of luck to them. I hope that you beat it, Mark, because I'll tell you what, cancer is a mother. You guys, anybody that knows, been following this channel for any length of time knows I am also a cancer survivor. They do not have a channel, Jay. They do not have a channel, but they've been following for quite a while. And is the UK the same as Ukraine? No, no, Hope. The UK is the United Kingdom. Britain, Great Britain. So, so anyway, my thoughts are with you, Mark. And I hope that, like I said, I hope you beat it. Okay. So what are we at? 535 on the thumbs up, guys. We need 65 more thumbs up to hit 600. So let's keep those going up. Oh, I forgot to mention Heather's website as well. So JJ just put the link up for Heather's Etsy account. She does jewelry, and she also does, excuse me, she also does like cat hats and those type of things as well. So if you would show her some support, that would be awesome. So again, thumbs up if you have not shot one. Again, it really makes a big difference with the algorithms. So now we're 55 away from hitting the new goal of 600, and I will not increase that after that. 600 is going to be the goal. So if we hit 600, that would be awesome. And I thank you for the support for doing that ahead of time. Again, it really does make a huge difference. It was 500 prep rebel, but we blew through 500, so we had to change it. Anyway, uh, again, if you are not subscribed, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. What's going on in China? Well, I'll tell you what. Let's talk about Iran for a second, folks. Does anybody? Well, I'm going to tell you what's going on in Iran right now. Huge, huge protests are happening in Iran right now. There was a woman, and they have in Iran, they have the morality police, I guess is what they're called. And what they do is if the women are not wearing their head coverings, the hijab, yes, if they're not wearing their hijab right, or if they don't have it on, they get arrested. And they call them the morality police. Well, what happened was this woman, I guess, had taken off her hijab and she was arrested and they beat her to death. Now, the morality police tried to say that she had a heart attack. I don't know a whole lot of 22-year-olds that are going to have a heart attack. Her family was saying that um, she was in good health, but this woman was beaten and she died. So people over in Iran are flipping out, which they should, because enough is enough. It's ridiculous. Julie Garfield, you have lost some weight. Your face looks slimmer. Well, thank you, Julie. I appreciate that. I'm definitely down weight wise. I long way to go, long way to go. So, but anyway, so that's what's going on over there right now with that situation. It's crazy that think about that these people would beat somebody to death because they didn't comply with something that they were told that they had to do. Imagine that happening. I don't. Could you imagine that happening here? Being ostracized and being yelled at and screamed at and put down because you didn't go along with the approved narrative. That's a weird thought, right? Same thing, folks. It's the same exact thing. Same exact thing. So something to think about. Something to think about. So so I got to tell you this real quick. So here's the joke that I've kind of said, and I said this to Heather after her mother and I went our separate ways. My first wife had black hair. Okay. My second wife, she would go between brown and red. Okay, because she would do the red highlights, and sometimes she was more red, but she had brown hair. So the joke has always been my next ex-wife will be a blonde. So that's kind of the joke. My next ex-wife will be a blonde. Notice how I say next ex-wife. So that's pretty funny, right? I think I've told you this. I think I've told you guys this one, and I've said this to people. I went up to a woman, beautiful, beautiful girl, and I said to her, I said, "Oh my God!" I go, "It is uncanny how much you look like my third ex-wife." And of course, the answer comes back, and they go, "Well, how many times have you been married?" And I reply, "Twice." So there you go. So that's a good joke. So you can use that. That's free. I'm giving you that to you. Feel free to use that one. All right. Good pickup line. Good pickup line. So anyway, what are we at? 562. Okay, 38 away, guys. 38 away from 600. Let's see if we can do that. While we're getting those thumbs up in there, we are Legion. We are many. We're all over the world. We're all over the country. Where is everybody from tonight? Okay. Where's everybody from tonight? We have Philip from Melbourne, Australia. Good day, Philip. How are you doing tonight? We have South Dakota, Central Missouri, Nowhere, Oklahoma, Inverness, Florida with Clyde, Waterloo, New York, Somerset, Pennsylvania with Judy, Franklin County, Ohio. We have Athens, Texas, Maryland, Gatlin, Pennsylvania, Erin, Tennessee, BC, Canada, Greenlee County, Arizona, Florida, Michigan is in the house, Iowa, Raleigh, North Carolina, East Central Illinois, Alabama, Western Kentucky, Campbell, Missouri, Troutman, North Carolina, Eastern Oregon, Central Iowa, Littleton, New Hampshire, Western Massachusetts, sorry, Vancouver Island, Canada, Cape Cod, Massachusetts, Alabama, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Michigan, Keystone Heights, Florida. We have West Virginia's in the house with Morning Light, Hot Springs, Arizona, Southern New Hampshire. We have Michael from Massachusetts. I'm being a goof. Sorry. Pueblo, Colorado, Fort Payne, Alabama, West Virginia once again, Missouri and the Ozarks, Salt Lake City, Utah, very nice. Webster, New Hampshire, Central Illinois, Hubbard, Oregon, Edgewater, Florida, Taxatussets, so Texas, I'm taking it, Paula. Carlisle in the UK with Anne, Cherokee County, Alabama, BC, Canada, Southern California, Boone County, Missouri, Rhode Island, Northeast Georgia in the mountains, East Lake, Ohio, Oxford, Connecticut. We have Paris, Texas is in the house. So again, folks, we are absolutely all over the country. We're all over the world. We're a huge, huge network of people. You know, we can make a difference. We can make a difference now. We can make a difference after SHTF as well. We're in a position to be able to do that. Trying to educate people now, trying to wake people up now. I think that is, Massachusetts is Taxatussets. Okay. Um, we're in that position that we can help try to educate people, wake people up now. After an SHTF event, we're the ones that are going to teach people how to help themselves. And I think that that is important. All right. So we have Southern West Virginia with Alan Rice. Very nice. Freeport in the Bahamas. Very nice. Glad to have you here. So what are we at? 576. We need 24 more thumbs up, guys. 24 more thumbs up to get us to the goal of 600, which changed after we hit 500. So we hit 600 and I'll stop asking, I promise. Won't ask again tonight. So if you have not shot that thumbs up yet, definitely do so. I appreciate that again. Really does make a difference with the algorithms as well. Also, again, if you are not subscribed, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. At what site do you buy that home project book from? Oh, let's see. Well, I'll tell you what. Let me show you that book again. And this is No Grid Survival Projects, okay? And we have Michael Major, Amber Robinson, Claude Davis, and James Walton that were the ones that did this, okay? So here is the book. Let's see if there's a website on here. So there's what that looks like, okay? I don't see if there, but if you type in No Grid Survival Projects, how to produce everything you need on your property. So type that into your search engine, and that's what the front of that book should look like. You should be able to find that right online. So Carly is 5 foot blonde, rides Harleys. X was 6'10". Wow, that's awesome. That is awesome. Yes, and I actually when I do meet somebody, she has to like to ride. I want to have somebody that wants to ride with me, that wants to go on trips, and do motorcycle stuff as well. So I definitely, she has to like that. It would be nice if she did, or open to riding. So, but 446. How do we get to 600 likes? Well, the way you do it is people have been in and out of the stream, so hopefully somebody that was in earlier that may be now gone, they've already done it, and they're already gone. So again, we're 11 away, guys. So let's. What is my zodiac sign? I am a Gemini. June 9th. No, she does not have to have her own bike. No, she's going to want to be able to ride on the back of my bike. That would be nice. So anyway, again, I want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely awesome job keeping the chat clean. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, that moderate for me. I really appreciate that. That means a lot. Also, I want to thank all of you guys for being here in these streams. Without you guys here, I wouldn't be doing these streams. So it's really enjoyable. I enjoy doing that. So thank you guys for that as well. Uh, what do we have? 594. We need 6 more thumbs up, guys, for 600. So let's bang through that 600 level. Remember, folks, we are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. If we could ever figure that out and come together and work together, there would be no stopping us. No stopping us. We could accomplish anything. The things that we could accomplish would be amazing. Instead of putting all the money into things that kill people, we could put that money into things that help people and teach people to help themselves. What a concept, right? Also, remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. Life is so short and is so precious. Make sure to tell your people that because you never know. Any of us can go at any time. So tell the people that you care about how you feel every day. Last but not least, STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to accomplish, whatever you're trying to do, you can do it. The only person that is going to stop you from reaching your goals is you. That's it, nobody else. Stay positive, stay away from the negativity, stay away from negative people that try to bring you down. Okay. So I hope you all have a great night. I see we got it. We're 606. So we hit the goal, the second goal. We had a first goal and then we hit the second goal. So that's awesome. Appreciate the support, guys. I hope you guys enjoy these talks. I hope you take something away from it as well. I would ask you to like, comment, and share so that other people can get that information as well. I think that that's important. We need to not be victims. Be proactive. Okay. I will see you all later. Have a great night. Prepper Nurse One out for now.